Now I imagine quite a few of you are already moaning about having to learn a Shania Twain guitar solo over the weekend. And I say having to learn because I don't just make these videos on the off chance you're going to think about learning. You're going to learn this solo, okay? And you're going to like it because it's brilliant. Now, my mum made quite a habit of listening to Shania Twain when I was a kid. I think she had Come On Over, name of the album, on rotation for at least 12 months. And I don't sing at all. I'm terrible. So I guess I latched on to everything else that was going on those records. And the guitar solo in Man, I Feel and Look Like a Woman is phenomenal. And we're going to do our best to learn it note for note without a slide.
Man, I feel like a woman.
I feel like it'd be bad if we learnt this guitar solo note for note and then gave all the credit to Shania Twain. Because as good as she is, she wasn't the one in the studio ripping all these fancy licks. It was a man named Mr. Dan Huff. And if you're not familiar with him, then I suggest that you whip out your spectacles, nothing else, and take a look at his Wikipedia, because he's played with artists such as Michael Jackson, Madonna, Whitney Houston, Barbra Streisand, Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, Michael Bolton, Joe Cocker, Belinda Carlisle, to name a few. The list goes on. I think Megadeth was one as well. And for me, it just kind of goes to show that a lot of the time with a singer-songwriter, when there is, let's say, exceptional instrumental work going on a record, that we just kind of tend to lump all the personnel in with the main artist's name, Shania Twain. You know, think about Moonish Daydream, incredible guitar solo. At the end of the song, people just think, David Bowie, it's Mick Ronson. But you need to kind of look under the hood. I don't like saying that, but it's for you Americans. Under the bonnet, to see who's actually ripping out the fancy licks. And yeah, Dan Huff, outrageous player. And I feel like it's nice to shine light on these talented players. Obviously, a lot of people know who they are. I'm not saying, oh, check out this guy. I'm just saying it's nice to celebrate their work because they're phenomenal. This opening bit is very cheeky. So what you're going to want to do is slide up to around the 21st fret of the high E. Doesn't have to make it. It's just kind of supposed to be a bit of a wolf whistle kind of thing. And then I like to grab the 15 on the G and the 16 on the B, bend them both up. And then you're going to go 16 on the G, 14 on the B, unison bend. And then just bend the 16, but I want you to try and change the tone of the note. Because obviously we can pick a note like this, where we dig in, but if you listen to the one on the track, it sounds like it goes very nasal for a second. Let it down slowly, slide out, because then we're going to come into the 12 on the G and the 14 on the B. Hold that at the end after a little back and forth, and then just kind of bend out, and then like a slide afterwards. Now I'm going to assume that this track was recorded using a slide because you got those cool zips at the start, and the second interval was actually really difficult to work out. It took me a while. And yeah, there's some stuff at the end with like root and major thirds where it just seems to have no break in the pitch, like it's a true slid note. But as we know from teaching other stuff on this channel, especially when the levy breaks, I am shit at slide. So we've got to play to our strengths, right? Not everyone can be a master session player like Dan Huff. We are going to learn it without, and let's just call it like a workaround. This next part's very fancy, almost too fancy. I think it goes like this. So it's kind of like B flat blues or Mixolydian, because we've got that major 6 in there towards the end. But you're going to hammer on from 7th fret to 8. And then when you get to the 6 on the D, I want us to have some little percussive mutes in the middle. You hit the 8th fret, another percussive mute, and then a double stop on the 6th fret of the G and the B. You can kind of pull that off to nowhere. To nowhere! I don't want to see it again. Second time it does this. So we get rid of the mutes, it's a little bit more fluid. Then you're going to hit the major 6th, B flat like I said before. Bend this minor 3rd to major 3rd, tiny little bit, and then if you can, pinched harmonic on the B flat. The more you dig in there, the better. Now, if you've come this far and you're enjoying yourself and you've not hit like, subscribe, bell next to it, or left me a comment, then I don't know what the hell you're doing. That's ludicrous. Do it now. Right now. This is the last bit we're going to learn. Where's the rest? It's too good. It should be longer. Anyway, it goes like this. So we've got a couple of little major chord triads, but we don't always clip every single note, but it's nice to be able to visualize A flat and E flat. If you don't know what that means at all, I'm very sorry about that. I'll give you the frets. So we're going to be on 8th fret of the G and the E, and you can put that 3rd finger in the middle for good measure. You don't need to, but for good measure. Anyway, you're going to slide up. If you get a little bit too much bleed there and you start to lose the sound of the notes, you could kind of rock the top finger like that. It's a tip that I found for myself. I was giving myself tips. We were having a chat, me and me, and I quite liked that one. Go up to the sus4, 9th fret, if you don't know what that means, and then back to the major 3rd. And then you can slide that whole thing all the way up to 15 of the G and the E. And that time you are going to come down to the root in the middle. Again, if you want a little bit less bleed, it's up to you. After that, we're going to hop over to 16 and 18 of the high E. And first time you get this rhythm, some little vibrato, and then the second time it kind of picks up in its rhythm. I can't speak. It's got a little bit more of a hop to it. First one, and then the last time you're going to step down from the E string to the B string, and then we've got this little push, which is 13 on the E, 14 on the B. Slow little suggestive bends. And then you're going to flat bar 15 of the GD and then grab 13 of the GB. Now if you've got a bar at this point, dip it in, and then you're going to wait. If that sustains well, you can slide all the way down to the 1st fret, which is the octave below. And and then bring it up to B flat, because this is basically A flat up to B flat. So we're just taking the root and the major third, slide it down an octave and then back up. That's how I understand it anyway. And that together goes like this. Obviously hold it longer, but I'm running out of sustain and time. Busy man.
I feel like a woman.
I hope you enjoyed this one, because it was a lot of hard work. It's very fancy. And if you do get it down, which you will, compulsory, it's a type of solo that will impress your mates, if you've got any. And yeah, while you're here, please hit like, subscribe, and the bell next to it. You'll be alerted for more lessons that end with insults like this. And if you're struggling, as always, you can get the tab backing track on my Patreon, help support the channel. But yeah, it's I'll say it's an incredible guitar solo, very inventive, and it breaks habitual playing. You know what I mean by that. Gets you out of your conventional licks, and it's hidden in plain sight. It's a guitar solo that nobody's talking about, and there should be. It'll teach you a lot. Catch you in the next one.